Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be going over two very important things that actually have the power to change your life. I mean, this has been life-changing for me, and I'm confident that you can get something out of this video that can be life-changing for you. So the two things we're going to talk about is thought process and language patterns and how they impact each other and how we can actually change them both. Okay, so basically there's our brain, our mind, right, is an intake. We are set up with five senses that are made for input. So we can see, we can hear, we can smell, touch, and taste. These are all forms of input that then are translated inside of our mind. So once we see a thing, touch a thing, it reflects into our database, which causes us to think. So the way a lot of things work, specifically with lifestyle results, beliefs, is we intake. So we see a thing, we think about a thing, we speak about a thing, and then we receive that thing, or we live that way, or we develop that belief according to what we've intake. And according to our intake, right, our five sentence, what we got out of that. An easy one is fire is hot. So now you see it right away, you know, hey, fire's hot. I'm not going to touch that again. So the cool thing is there are ways that you can actually change the way you think, impact your beliefs with language patterns. So if I could draw out the circle, you have your input, right? So your input is going to drive your thinking, which is going to drive your speaking, in turn is going to drive what you believe, and then that's going to determine what you achieve in life, because your only limits that you have are based on the beliefs that you have. So let's get into it. Again, you're gonna intake, right? You're gonna think about what the intake that you're getting, then you're gonna talk about it, and then you're going to believe it. You're going to create these beliefs, and then that is going to, set any limitations, expectations, and kind of create your reality. So that's how it works. So that creates, according to our intake and the way we think, is what creates our language patterns. So then what happens is when we develop these language patterns, and an easy way that I can explain a language pattern to kind of give you a good idea is people that win in life on a high level have a different language pattern than people who are failing miserably or broke or whatnot. So we'll call them a losing mentality and a winning mentality. The cool thing is, don't get lost here, because you can change your mentality either way. It can go one way or the other. So a losing mentality, victimhood, is going to constantly be, look, I can never make it because I'm not good enough for that. I'm not tall enough, fast enough. That never works. I've tried that. It doesn't work. I've got into this sport. I've tried making this essay. I've tried giving speeches, and that just doesn't work for me. Oh, that'll never happen. Hey, I could never sell that many widgets. That guy got lucky. All these are bad language patterns. I could never get in that kind of shape. I could never run that fast. I'm not good enough. Who will listen to me, etc. These are broke language patterns. Now, the crazy thing about this vicious cycle here, again, right? You've got your input, thought process, and then you speak. So if you're constantly inputting, okay, with your words, these language patterns into your mind, you're in this vicious circle, man. So you're controlling exactly what you think by the words that you say, and which is very, very damaging. And it's a vicious cycle for you. And then that determines your beliefs that you have. And generally, if other people will contradict your beliefs with what they say, well, they'll say, no, you can do it. You just need to exercise more. You can do it. You need to practice. Oh, you're lazy. That's why you don't get it done. They make you uncomfortable. Usually a winning thought process, a winning language pattern will take away all the excuses and reasons and stories that a losing language pattern has. And those kind of people don't feel comfortable around each other. Winners and losers, they just don't get along, because the winners will take away all the excuses that a loser has, and that is an uncomfortable spot to be in. and vice versa, right? So the great minds like to run with other great minds. Birds of a feather flock together. You lay down with a dog, you get up with fleas. You will hang out with who you are, okay? And that rubs off on each other. That's your comfort zone. So if you're around a bunch of people with poor language patterns, you'll realize that all of you talk the same. So recognizing these poor language patterns is super important to become conscious of these things that you're saying and realize that you're actually cursing yourself. So if your computer, the input station, your brain is in constant download mode, and the most important programmer, I've talked about this in other talks, is you. So your computer hears your voice and you can imprint on your brain more than anybody else. The most powerful words that are going to make the biggest impact in your life are the ones that come out of your own mouth. So if your language pattern is directing your thought process in a negative manner, you're just in a spiral that's going the wrong way. And that's what you're focused on. And you've hardwired these beliefs into your mind, and that's why you have the results that you have. So let's flip to the good news. The good news is that you can redirect your thought process by changing your language patterns. Meaning you can start downloading, okay, because you could speak directly to your input. Again, your voice is the most powerful. It's not about what everybody else says. It's about what you say and you believe for yourself. In the beginning, when you're telling yourself these things, it's going to seem like a lie. I've talked about this before. It bears repeating because what's remembered is repeated, and what's repeated is remembered. So it's important that you continuously tell you these things. So you're going to write down what it is you want, and you're going to start speaking it, okay? And when you start speaking it, you'll think about it, and then you'll speak about it more, and then you'll end up believing it. And it's going to take a while till you start believing it, but then the results will follow and your life will drastically begin to change around you. So I'd encourage you to watch and become conscious of the negative things that are coming out of your mouth, okay? We're literally limiting ourselves and hurting ourselves with words that we say, and a lot of times we don't even catch it. So this is one of my favorite subjects. If you've tuned in at all, you probably know that. And it's just so powerful and been helpful to me. Watch what you say to yourself. Watch for broke language patterns. Try to disassociate with people that are constantly speaking with a broke language pattern, or help them change. Get around people with some powerful language patterns, with some successful language patterns, with some no excuses language patterns that are going to help you move forward in your life, and your life will begin to change. So your voice can direct your mind, your way of thinking, your actions, and your beliefs. So use it to your advantage. Start with changing your language patterns. And if you have to write them down, write them down. Start speaking them, thinking about it over and over again. Your goals, the way you want to be. Think about the person that you want to be, and talk like that person would talk, speak like that person would talk, be like that person will be, and who you are now will become that person. So anyway, be on the lookout for these language patterns. If you become conscious of them, I promise you're going to see them amongst people that you know, and more importantly, you're gonna come into contact where you'll hear these language patterns coming out of you. I fight them daily. I'm becoming more and more conscious of my own broke thinking language patterns and working on correcting them on a regular basis. And all we can do is continue to better ourselves. But becoming aware of them is the first step in walking down that road. So hopefully that added some value to you. I appreciate it. If it helped you, like, share, subscribe, and until I see you next time, stay tuned.